Good everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing day. What I'll do today, right? I'll just gonna explore some of the different aspects of the public sector solution, which we haven't spoken about in all our previous videos. But that being said, I will also mention some of the stuff which we've already mentioned, right? Because it's very important to understand that when we talk about a public sector solution, right, it is a solution which is based on the layered architecture, and that's built on top of the Salesforce platform as well as the Service Cloud and some of the Sales Cloud, right? You will see when you talk about the PSS, there's an overlap with the Service Cloud. There's an overlap with some of the platform stuff. But that being said, you can also build experience clouds to make sure when you're dealing with a customer, you obviously need a website, right? Because why would your user wants to log into a Salesforce, right? It's pointless. Like if I'm a if I mean, it's pointless in the sense most of the people won't care if it's a Salesforce or Microsoft CRM or whatever, right? Because they don't normally don't care. Because for them, they want to have a simple and easy way to say apply for a license or apply for a grant. They don't want much complications. Some of the people are not even tech savvy. So, but the, so that's where Experience Clouds plays an important role. You're providing a portal or a site which enables any user to log in or even a guest user to access the functionality which is required, and behind the scene PSS will do what it's supposed to do, right? So I've already mentioned about these components because like I said that PSS in rely is based on layered architecture, which is more like a component based. So you have different components that sits at the top of each other. If you imagine from a diagram perspective, so we have platform, Service Cloud, Sales Cloud, and Experience Cloud sitting at the bottom. Then we have Public Sector Solution Data Model. There's a huge data model diagrams that's out there, so I'll show you one today from a provider perspective. Then you have Industry Common Layer. We're talking about OmniStudio and all of the stuff, right? And then you have different apps. I've demonstrated to you, right? When you log into a PSS org, like the org which you can register for trial. You can see different apps sitting there, like the licensing, permitting, inspection management, grant making, emergency program management, employee experience, and so forth, right? Um, I associate myself a lot with the health sector these days because I do a lot of stuff with the health sector and also non-health sector as well. So when you talk about the health sector, you usually talk about the provider management a lot. So that's one of the areas I'm very interested into from my day-to-day perspective. Then you have licensing and permitting and grant making and other stuff, right? Now, like I said, right, OmniStudio plays a very important role, and I understand one of the user subscriber reached out to me and said, that, "Hey, can you make an OmniStudio uh, series?" That's something I have in mind. Once I finish doing PSS, right, next thing I will go through OmniStudio components like FlexCard, OmniScript, integration procedures, data raptors. Will deep dive into each and every components, right? I try to say this as a component because these are different layers, we can say. Now, obviously, OmniStudio is does involve a lot of things, right? It it expects you to put a developer hat, but at the same time, you're not developing much using a code. Yes, you can use code, you can use Apex with integration procedure, but most of the things are point and click, similar like flows, right? But at the same time, there's an expectation that you build the right flows with the right architecture, the modular bulkification, all the good stuff you need to be taking care of, right? So yeah, so uh, that's something um, we have when it comes to the Omni Studio because when you talk about FlexCard and OmniScript, these are the things which user often get to see, like FlexCard. User can interact in in the form of a flyout, OmniScript where they fill out the form. Normally in FlexCard, you don't really fill out anything. It's you can consider it like a billboard where user get to see stuff, but at the same time, if you want to see more information, you can do further actions like fly out or even call OmniScript. Then you have a service management, then which actually like your like a domain layer, I would say, which deals with the data. You can interact with this Salesforce database. If you don't want to interact with the Salesforce database, if you wanted to use, let's say, external APIs, or then you obviously need to use integration procedure. Otherwise, you can use data raptors. And then you have developer experiences, normally talking about your deployment process, right? Now, there are a few things I want you guys to know, right? I haven't spoken these about these things before. Like I said when I started this episode, that I did mention that we're going to talk about some things which we haven't covered in the past. Uh, I mean, today I'm going to give you a brief introduction, but I can assure you that I will do the hands-on so that to make it more clear for you, right? Action plan. So if you have some repeatable task, right, assessment, like as you can say here, then you can use the action plans, right? You can even you can make a template out of it to reuse it, right? So obviously, we're gonna look at um, opportunity to see how we can create an action plan template, etc. Right? Then we have foundation document generation. If you have a Word document, if you have a PDF, or if you have other document, if you wanted to merge them together to form a new document, you can do that. It's actually help you. So this foundation document generation helps you create a document for a from a predefined template. And it's very handy, right? Then you have a document checklist, right? Document checklist is a very important aspect. Like imagine, you as a user wants to apply for a license, like a hair salon license, right? Obviously, you need a certain checklist that you need to upload or documents that you need before you actually go and click on submit. So that's where the document checklist kind of helps, right? It helps. Um, it's useful to ensure, so it's there in place to ensure that your constituents provides all the supporting document necessary, right? Then we have intelligent document automation. It's actually simplifies your document management process, so it you can capture information that's been submitted, like business license application and contact, without doing much manual entry, right? We're gonna look into that, right? So don't worry about it. It's just a something to remember at the back of your mind, right? That we have something called sorry, my apologies, for some reason I can't pronounce intelligent document automation, which is a very handy component, I would say, because I like to use the word component. um, you can route incoming documents to an appropriate queue for faster review and approvals, right? Then we have intelligent form reader. It's more like it uses OCR capability. Like if you wanted to extract a text from an image, you can do that. You have a document which you don't want it to, let's say you have um, a form, right? Which contains a lot of info, and instead of user going and manually doing it, so intelligent form reader will use the OCR technology to extract the data and create a record or whatever, right? You can do something like that. We'll look into that. Then we have business rule engine. It's a quite old in the sense. It's not really new. It's like a couple of years old. If you wanted to have a business rule engine, you can use that, right? I mean, one of the project I was associated with, we had an opportunity to use business rule engine, but we didn't because of, I think we had a transactional limit with this rule engine back in the day. It's like 50,000 or something, but we were expecting maybe like a million. So we went with an open source. We hosted that engine in AWS. So I mean, only thing that costed us was the hosting. Otherwise, the actual engine is free because it's an open source, and we have customized it. So it's pretty good, cool. Um, then we have this decision explainer. which is a kind of setup object which gives you an insight into business rule, why a business rule generated a specific result set, right? So if your business rule generates XYZ result set, then decision explainer will help you understand to give you insight to that. Then we have CRM analytics, right? Now, these are the few things which I haven't discussed in the past, and I have planned to do hands-on because obviously, by just merely talking about it, it's not really good, right? Because you will think, what the heck, right? What this guy is even talking about. So what I'll do in the next episode, right? I will actually show you how the action plan works, yeah, and we'll take it from there. But today, I just wanted to showcase one more thing. That's the data model, just to give you an idea from a provider perspective how it looks like here. So this is how the Salesforce. It's an architect.salesforce.com, so it's a Salesforce um, diagram that they provided. So you can see there are a lot of public sector solutions that's been newly introduced as a part of the solution. And then they also use the standard like in account, your account ACR, contact, location, time slot. These are all the standard object. Um, if you've used the code set and code set bundle, right, it was a part of a health cloud license in the past. Now they migrated to PSS. So if you are somebody who works in a provider space, you know the importance of the practitioner facility, healthcare practitioner, healthcare facility, referral, adverse reaction, adverse action, healthcare provider, uh, benefit assignment, benefit type, and all kind of stuff, right? So have a look, and what I'll encourage you to do, right? Have a look at this data model, play with the org, right? Go through your org and try to understand how this data model aligns, right, with your business requirement. Because Salesforce has done a pretty good job giving you sorry, uh, an overview of the data model. And I think this is a very good starting point, in my opinion. If you are someone, let's say, wanted to use PSS for provider management. A lot of things you can use out of box, right? You don't have to custom build. That's one of the advantage I would say for PSS. You can pretty much roll up something for your customer without doing much without doing much customization. So have a read and have a look at this public sector solution data model. What I'll do, I'll put the link in the description below so that it's easy for you guys to, in case if you're interested. But I would highly recommend you go through it because it's very important to understand the data model. And then, like I said, in the next episode, we're going to look at some hands-on because that's the best part, right? Because in Salesforce, just talking about it is boring. You need to see how all fit together. That's the cool part. So see you till next episode. I hope you guys have an amazing Friday. Adios.